Welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Excited to spend time with you again, talking about things that are important to your business. Today, we're going to be talking about clarity before cash and why most people try to monetize too soon. And this is something that is a chronic problem with people that I work with, that people, when they get started and they want to launch their own business, they want to get things going, what is the very first thing they want to do? They want to start getting paid, right? They want to start making money. They want to start getting clients. They want to start having things go. And because that they're trying to, more than likely, they're trying to replace an income. They had a job that they've been doing. They want to break free from that. They want to go off on their own, and they think starting their own business is a great way to do that. And it is. It absolutely is. But one of the things that then happens is they just start throwing things out there. Well, I could do this. And they start putting things out there, and they start talking to people. And the ideas that they put out there aren't always very well thought out. They aren't always very well refined and defined. And they are somewhat loose, because at the end of the day, the objective isn't about building a business that can last. The objective for that person is, I need to start generating some cash. I need to start making some money. I need to get something going. And so I just need to do what's going to make money. And so they throw out things. And a lot of times what I'll even see from people is they'll throw out an idea, and that idea really doesn't go anywhere. Well, then I'll throw out another idea and another idea and another idea. And eventually people aren't even paying attention to them anymore, because they're just like, oh, here comes another one of these things. And now what are they doing now? And people just put you on mute, because they're like, all they're trying to do is get money. All they're trying to do is get people to give them cash, and they'll do whatever they'll do whatever it takes to get you to give them money. And that doesn't read well. That doesn't feel well on the other side. That doesn't sit well with the people on the other side, because now it just feels like you're kind of a money grubber. You're just kind of a person who's just trying to get cash, and you'll do whatever it takes to get cash. And that's not why people want to engage in a business transaction. It's not, I don't want to engage with somebody just because they want my money. I don't want to engage with somebody just because they are trying to get in my wallet. No, I want to engage with someone because they can help me. They can solve a problem. They can make my life better. And that's where things don't always, this is where things really break down, and why things don't always work, when somebody just says, I got an idea and I'm going to run with it. Or I've got 5 ideas and I'm going to run with all 5 at the same time. And you confuse people, and people don't know what you're doing or what you're about. And they say, I thought you were this person. Oh, I am, but you're also doing that. Yeah. And I'm doing this too. And it doesn't work. And here's a quick example. Right now we're dealing with a situation where we have our water heater in our house broke down, and the water heater it just became an issue. We've never really had to deal with a water heater issue before. And so I'm like, I'm not sure who all I need to call or who I need to have come in, because I need some help, somebody that knows what they're doing. I learned a long time ago with things like this, I need somebody who actually knows what they're doing to make sure it gets installed right and taken care of. And I'm looking at different businesses in the area and so forth, somebody who might be able to help me. And one of the things that came up was I started looking at this one is just a plumber. They're just a plumber. They handle all sorts of plumbing needs, i.e. like hot water heaters. This is right in their thing. Another one's a plumber, but also an HVAC person. And I'm like, okay, so but I don't, it feels like you're not specialized. It feels like you're not focused. It feels like you're going in multiple directions at the same time. I want somebody who's really, really good at plumbing. I want somebody who's really, really good to know exactly what to do to solve my water heater problem. that's the person I went with. That's the company I called because they seemed really focused on the one thing that I needed. And that was attractive to me as a buyer. That was something that made a difference for me in wanting to move forward. So that's something that you need to be thinking about. When you are getting started out, your goal obviously is you need to start making cash. Perfectly understandable. You need to generate an income. Perfectly normal. But you also need to be careful how you lay things out. You need to be careful how you proceed forward and how you're going to be perceived by the people that you're talking to, because you can destroy things very quickly if you're not coming out with the right approach. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how do we develop that clarity? How do we develop the right approach? So the first thing I want you to think about is clarity. A lack of clarity will kill momentum. If you are, we talked about this a little bit already, if you're not clear on what it is, your messaging that when you talk to people is unclear. When you're out there talking to people, like one time they hear you talking about this, the next time they hear you talking about something else, and the next time they hear you talking about something else. And after a while, they're going, I don't know what this person does. And trust me, they don't have time to try and figure it out. They have their own life to live. They don't have time to sit here and figure out, well, I think they're doing this and that, but I don't know how it all ties. No, they're just going to say, I don't get it. And they're going to move on to somebody else. When you are out there and you are putting out messages on a bunch of different levels, your messaging is going to start feeling very, very vague. It's going to feel very general. Everything's going to feel confusing, and it'll be like me with the plumber situation. You're going to say, I don't know. I don't want somebody that's a generalist in a bunch of different things. I want somebody who's a specialist in the thing that I need. That is 10 times more important to me, as I want it, like right now, to fix my water heater problem. I want somebody who's an expert in knowing how to solve this problem. I want somebody who's an expert in knowing how to deal with the thing that I'm staring at. I don't want someone who kind of sort of knows how to do a lot of things. I want someone who knows exactly how to do the thing that I need. Because right now, I don't need any HVAC help. It's not what I'm looking for. What I need is this. And I want somebody who's going to give me confidence that they know how to solve this. Your clients are doing the exact same thing. Now, here's the thing. So we could talk about what is it that you need to be clear on? How is it that you need to build clarity so that the people on the other side do have confidence that you're the right person for them? How do you build that clarity for them? Well, there's 3 areas that you need to define. 3 areas that you need to get really, really clear on who you are and what you're about, so that your clients will have confidence to do business with you. The first item that I want to talk about is, who do you serve? Who specifically do you serve? Now, for me, in a space like what I do, it's people who are entrepreneurs, right? Well, yeah, but no. That is not who I serve. I serve authors, coaches, speakers, trainers who want to build a business around their message, serving clients that they love. That's who I serve. I serve people who have a message. I just don't serve I don't serve somebody who wants to open a craft store. I don't serve somebody who wants to be an insurance agent. I don't serve somebody who wants to open a manufacturing business. That's not me. Who does e-commerce? Nope. You're not my client. I don't serve you. I serve people who have a message and want to build a business around that message, around their coaching, around their courses, around their speaking. That's who I'm looking to serve. That's a very much more specific niche. And here's what happens when you get that specific about things. When you dial things in at that level, the audience suddenly hears you talking. They hear your message. They hear what you're posting and saying on different things. And the audience goes, wait, that's what I need. You're the person, you're the guy, you're the gal who knows exactly how to help me. You're specialized in the thing that I need help with. Now I'm going to pay way closer attention to you. And you're consistent in your message. You serve the audience that I am a part of. You serve people like me. And you don't vary off of that. You don't go too wide. You see, the problem is that when we first start all this, we become concerned that if we only serve this one type of customer, that we won't get enough business, that we won't get enough customers, that we have to be willing to broaden our scope of what we're willing to do to be able to get enough money to survive. I get it, and I understand. And sometimes all of us have to take on work and projects that aren't necessarily what we want to do, but are what we need to do to be able to pay the bills and keep going. I don't know how to tell you this any other way other than it doesn't work that way. When you're too general, people think you really don't know how to help them because you're too broad. You're too scattered. You're talking about too many different things all at the same time. And people just look at that and go, I don't know. I don't think this person is really the person that I need. I don't think they're the person that I'm looking for. I don't think this is it. And conversely, I have had many times in my life where I'm sitting here and I am struggling with one specific issue in something that I'm doing in my business. I'm struggling with one exact thing. And I'm sitting there. And then one day I stumble across this course. I stumble across this ebook, this something. And oh my gosh, that's it. That product or that service or whatever is exactly what I need help with. You know how hard it is to get me to buy that? Not very. Because I'm looking at it going, that's exactly what I need. They're speaking directly to me and they understand the situation that I'm in. They're speaking exactly to me. Bam, I'm in, I'm buying. But if it's a broad general message that's covering all sorts of different scenarios, all sorts of different topics, nah, no, thank you. It's not, all I'm going to get is a bunch of general information covering a bunch of general topics that aren't going to be specific to anything that I do. As a result, it's not going to be what I need. So your audience will respond when you get ultra clear and you niche way down into exactly the type of person that you serve. Because there's more than one of them out there, I can assure you. There's way more than one of them out there. Because there's a whole group of them. They're waiting for someone. They're waiting to find that right person who gets them. They're waiting to find that right person who understands them, who knows what they're going through, who understands what problems they're facing. And then they can go, wait, you're it. You're the person. You're the one who knows how to help me. This is amazing. This is exactly what I need. Now they're stumbling over themselves to become your client. The second thing that you need to get super clear on is not only who do you serve, but what problem are you solving for them? Once you know the audience that you're serving, what exactly do they need? What is the problem that they're struggling with? What is the thing that they are having trouble with? And it's a lot for my audience. People want to sell coaching. They want to sell courses. But here's the thing. Nobody buys coaching and courses. What people buy is solutions. Now, if your coaching and your course provide that solution, bang, now we're in business. But too many people get hung up on things like, well, what should my coaching look like? It's going to be this many sessions and it's good. My course is going to be this many modules. Okay. Your course needs to be as long as it needs to be to help them solve the problem. You need to be thinking about creating a solution for the problem more than you need to be thinking about all the little details about how long the course is. People don't buy courses. People don't buy coaching. They buy solutions. What is the solution that you're offering? And when you are very clear on that, when you are very specific on this is the solution, this is exactly the problem that I'm addressing, then now you've got it. Now they're going, wait, yeah, you're talking to me. I'm your audience. I'm the person. You're my person. You get me. You understand me, and you're speaking directly about my problem. You are speaking directly about what it is that I'm struggling with. You get it. I've been sitting over here for however long trying to find a solution. I've been sitting here for all this time trying to find a way to resolve this thing that I've been struggling with, trying to find a way to solve a problem. And you're talking to me in my language now. You are talking to me in a way that I'm going, yeah, you get it. You understand. You understand and appreciate why I'm struggling. That's it. Yes, you get my pain. You get my angst. You get my frustration. You get my discouragement. You get my struggle. Now I'm listening even closer. Because not only have you identified that, yeah, you're a person that is speaking to people like me, now you're saying you get people like me. You get it. You understand the pain. You understand the frustration. You understand all those things that we're feeling that are causing us to be unhappy, that are causing us to be, in all these negative places because we can't quite seem to get to the other side. We have something we're trying to do. We have some place we're trying to get to. We have some solution we're trying to create, and we just haven't been able to figure it out. We're stuck with the problem right now. Then the third thing is, what is the result you're going to help them achieve? And how are you going to do that? So at the end, if we're talking to the right people, right? We are talking to the right people. We have defined that we are speaking about this problem that they're facing. So we're showing that we show understanding. And then we're saying, we're going to help you get to where it is that you want to go. And for people in my audience, there's a lot of people in my audience have amazing messages. These are people that have learned some amazing things in their life. They have amazing skills. They have amazing abilities. They've gone through difficulty in their own life. They have gone through struggles. They've gone through difficult circumstances, and they've come out the other side of those things full of knowledge and wisdom. They have learned how to solve things. Some of these people have gone through traumatic events, and they've learned how to heal from those traumatic events. And now they are capable of helping other people heal as well, because they now understand what it takes to get to the other side. Some people like me know how to help people to take their idea and get it to turn into an actual business that they can do full time. You see, for me, with my clients, the things that I'm dealing with all the time is I have all these people that have these amazing gifts and abilities, and they know that they could truly make a living doing this. And maybe they've even done it a little bit here or there. They've worked with a client, and then they've worked with another client, and they had these amazing results because they're so good at this. They are really, really gifted, and they've gotten a taste. They've gotten a taste of what it's like to work with somebody, because they know, like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is what, if I could do this every day, my life would be amazing. If I could do this every day, my life would be incredible, because I would be earning a living doing things that I love to do. I would be earning a living doing the things that make me happy. And I'd be making a difference in people's lives. I would be impacting other people in a very, very positive way. I would be making the world a better place. But here's the problem, is I don't know the right way to get the business built so that I can get my message out there, so that I can help the people that I'm called to serve, and so that I can generate the income so that I can do this full time. So that I can get past the point of this being a hobby, and I can move into this is my life. That's the problem that I'm helping people solve. And I'm showing them a way, I'm showing them a pathway that they can create that solution. Now, when you're doing that, you're showing them not only this is the result that you can get, you have to show them how you're going to help them get that result. You have to be clear, and you have to give them step 1, step 2, and step 3. This is how we help you get there. And you don't want to go into super detail. You don't want to go into all sorts of extra nuances and, well, in week 2 we do this, in week 3. Now it's too much information up front. What you want to be able to do is give them a highlight and give them a summary that says, this is how it's going to happen. We can get you there. We're going to get you to the point where you are actually doing your idea, your business full time, because we have the business plan. We have the tools. We have the resources. We have everything that you need to get from idea to thriving business, to get from part-time hobby to full-time career. This is where you can go. This is where you can make it happen. And then we outline a simple process for them to get there. And for us, we show people that you need to have 3 things to be able to get there. You need to have somebody who knows the way. You need to have a coach that can guide you and show you step by step. Somebody that can walk through the process and show you how to get from where you are to where you want to be. Number 2, you need to have the training and the tools and the resources in front of you to be able to get there. So you need to be equipped for the journey. You need to have everything you need with step-by-step instructions on how to do it. And then the coach will walk beside you and show you what you need to do. And third, you need a community, because being an entrepreneur can become very discouraging. Becoming an entrepreneur can get very lonely at times. And so what ends up happening is the thing that I see take more people out of being a small business owner than anything is simply discouragement. People get discouraged. People feel like this isn't going to happen. Nothing is going on. I'm never going to get there. And they give up. And their business idea may have been incredible. Their business may have had so much potential, but they gave up because they convinced themselves that it wasn't going to happen. So you need that support. You need that community. You need that lifting up to keep you in the game. So think about it. If you had a roadmap that shows you exactly what to do, if you had all the tools to make sure that you're doing it at the highest level, if you had somebody to guide you and talk with you and answer your questions as you go along the way, and you had a supportive community to keep you going when you feel down or discouraged, then you have everything that you need to succeed. You see how I've summarized that? You see how I've summarized all of that process so that the person on the other side is, wow, I get it. Yeah, if I had all of those 3 things, I could do this. If I had an exact roadmap on how to do it, if I had the coaching that would answer my questions and make sure that I knew how to apply it for me, and I had a community that would support me and encourage me to keep going, I could do it. And now I can go from where I am to where I want to be. And what that clarity does, you see, what I didn't do was I didn't go down and describe what we did in each one of the training modules. I didn't describe what we do in all the details, because that's too much information on the first step. What they need to understand is the big picture. What they need to understand is, how does this work at a very, very high level? Once they understand that, then they have clarity. Then they understand and they can go, that's it. That's it for me. That is the thing that I need. That is the thing that's going to make this work for me. So when you can do those steps, when you can get really, really clear on, this is my target audience, so that your audience responds and says, you're talking to me. And this is a specific problem that I'm going to solve. And then their audience is going to say, wow, you get it. You understand what I'm struggling with. You get my pain. You get my frustration. And then you show them that you're going to help them get the solution that they want, and that you have a very believable, very compelling way of getting there, that your offer is highly, highly compelling. The audience goes, wow, This is it. Now I want to give you my money. Now I want to trade with you because you have what I need. You have what I want, and I want to do business with you. You see how it's a totally different game now? Whereas before, people were chasing money, but now what we're talking about is how actually clarity accelerates your income. You see, we think too many times when we get started that the first thing we need to do is just go out and generate income. We got to get clients. We got to get money because we have to pay the bills. I get it. I get it. But too many times we jump chasing the dollar when we really don't know what it is that we're doing. And we're not clear on our messaging. We're not clear on our offer. We're not clear on what it is that we're doing for people. And as a result, we're jumping on a lot of different bandwagons all at the same time. And we're covering a lot of ground, and people look at it and go, I don't know what this is even about. I don't even know what this is. So people don't jump because they don't see and understand how what you're doing benefits them. And this is the thing that causes them not to buy, and why so many people do not then succeed as entrepreneurs. They look at these things and they don't get it because the messaging isn't clear, because the audience that they're targeting isn't clear, because the problem that they're solving isn't clear, because the offer of how they're going to solve the problem isn't clear and compelling. When these things aren't clear, the audience on the other side just goes, I don't get it. I'm not giving you my money because it's not clear. And I don't see how you're going to help me. And I don't understand what this is going to do for me. So no, thank you. See, this is where it falls apart. And on the other side, what ends up happening is people just throw stuff out there and they hop from idea to idea, and they've never actually fully developed any of those ideas. So I want to kind of bring all of this together. I want to kind of bring all of these thoughts together to kind of wrap it up for today's episode. Things a lot of time become harder than they need to be when we're starting our business because we try and go too fast. And the thing is that we're trying to chase the wrong thing first. We're trying to just chase the money. But what we haven't figured out yet is, how do we actually create something that people want? Or maybe we already have what people want, but how do we communicate what we have in such a way that people are going to understand it and people are going to want it? That's what makes people buy. So we end up sabotaging ourselves because we're chasing after generating income, but what we haven't done is the work to position ourselves in such a way that we have something that people are eagerly wanting to buy. When you do that, when you do those steps first, now you're ready to cook. Now you're ready to go. When you get all of these things put together and you know that you have what people want, you have what people need, and you've communicated it in a clear and compelling way, you're ready to rock and roll. You are ready to set fire. You are ready to take off and go. And nothing's going to hold you back. So reality is, while it looks like slowing down to get clarity, slowing down to get clear on everything is a slower approach, while it appears to be the more time-consuming approach because you're taking more time up front, you're taking more time putting the pieces together at the beginning, in reality, it's the accelerant. Because what ends up happening is the people who jump out and chase money, the people who jump out and chase the income out the bat, they may get a few clients to start, but it flames out quick because they don't have an offer that people really want. They haven't created and defined and worked these things through in a way that are really compelling and causing people to get what they want, and causing people to think this is the answer that I've been looking for. As a result, the business dies out and it doesn't last. And the entrepreneur throws their hands up and says, this stuff doesn't work. It does work. You just have to do things the right way. And if you will do things the right way, you can have a thriving business that takes care of you and does things, amazing things for you and your life. So I hope all of this is helpful to you. The thing that you got to remember is you just need to sit down and take your time and get somebody to help you. Get somebody to help you think through these things, help you figure out how to get clear on all of these issues. How do you get clear on this stuff? Because if you can do that, you're going to be miles ahead. And when you go out and start talking about your message, or you go out and start talking about what it is that you can do for people, now you're going to be bringing in clients like crazy because you have something that sells. So that's it for today's episode. Hope you got a lot out of it. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you again next time. And I'll talk to you again very soon.